One of the most difficult peaks to climb in the Bay Area, hands down, is Mission Peak. Why is that? If you've ever tried to attempt to climb it, you know it's extremely steep. It's a fast and hard climb. And at many times it can seem to be near impossible. But I'll tell you what, guys, I climbed it on my bike. I'm gonna tell you guys how I did it, how I made it happen, and what I learned along the way as well. Stay tuned. I'm gonna tell you guys all about my experience climbing Mission Peak on my bicycle, non-e-bike, all push and pedal. Right here in a couple seconds, guys. Stay tuned. I'll be right back. All right, everybody, welcome. That's right, you've got me. You found me. You are here. We are here together. That's right, you guys have found AndreReese.biz. That's right, folks. My name is AndreReese.biz. And not only do I do taxes, not only do I sell online, eBay, but I was born with a magnificent gift. That's right. I was born with a magnificent gift. I'm able to see tax deductions and business opportunities no matter where I go on planet Earth. I can be here locally in the Bay Area. I can go down to LA. I can go up to Alaska. I can go to Europe. I can even go to New York City. I can go to the tallest of tall buildings in the world. And I can go to the lowest of low caverns and tunnels. And I'll tell you what, I will be able to use my magic, magnificent gift to be able to identify tax deductions and business opportunities no matter where I am on this planet. Now that is just amazing. And I'll tell you what, guys, I share those things with you because I want you to be successful in life. That's why I do this. I always encourage you guys to book a consultation with me. Consultation runs about $195 for about an hour. We can sit down and we can talk about your situation. We can get you squared away. I can infuse you with the game that I have developed from my travels and walks upon this earth. I can teach you about tax deductions, business opportunities. I can get your books tightened up as well. I can do all that stuff for you. Like I said, book a consultation. Visit me, AndreReese.biz. Consultations run about $195. And as I always say, these conversations are just for educational purposes only. There's no tax advice here. There's no investment advice. This is just an academic discussion about things that we can do in order to be able to maximize our tax deductions, business opportunities, and also learn a little bit about a topic that I somehow tie back into the tax and accounting industry, starting a business, etc. You know, like I said, this is for educational purposes only. And always, because of that, stay tuned to the end of this video so I can give you guys my rundown on some tax ideas and business opportunities that relate to this individual topic. So don't forget to subscribe. Go ahead and do that right now. Hit that bell. Be sure to like the video as well. And let's go ahead and jump in. So let me go ahead and tell you guys what we're here today to talk about. And as you guys know from the bumper, I was able to climb Mission Peak in Fremont on my bicycle. I did this about a week ago on Saturday, October 21st, 2023, year of our Lord. So I'm here to give you guys a rundown on how I was able to do it on my bicycle. And before I even get started, let me drop this disclaimer. Don't do this at all. This is something that is extremely dangerous. It's life-threatening at times, and you can incur incredible bodily harm. So I wouldn't even attempt anything related to Mission Peak, but I'm just here to tell you guys about my experience. So I 100% discourage you from trying any of this at home. Don't do it. Leave it to the professionals. And let's go ahead and get started. So, like I said, I climbed Mission Peak on my bicycle about a week ago. And I want to kind of go through and share the video, a bunch of videos with you guys. And so I apologize in advance. This video may be 45 minutes, if not even a little bit longer, because I have about 25 minutes worth of video on my descent to share, plus maybe another 6 minutes of video of me going up to the top, just snippets of it. And I shot the footage on my GoPro 360 on the descent, so it's going to give you a unique perspective. And then on the ascent going up, I use my iPhone, and you'll be able to get a perspective of what I kind of went through in the process of getting to the top. So like I said, apologize in advance. This may be a long video, but hopefully you'll be able to enjoy the footage and see something you're probably not typically able to see on your own unless you try to go ahead and do this. So let's talk about how I prepared for summiting and climbing Mission Peak on my bicycle. So so when I relocated to Redwood City back in, I believe it was end of March, one of the things I wanted to do is I wanted to move closer to the hills. That way I had access to it. That way all I had to do was just hop off my bike and go ride. And within, a half a mile or so, I'd be climbing. So I've done a lot of hill work out here locally, and it's been great. I've done rides as small as 300 feet of climb, and then I've done climbs that are 1,200, 1,300 feet on the upper end. So I started climbing on my bike regularly to try to get my endurance up, because my goal was to either do Mission Peak or to do Mount Diablo. And I figured doing Mission Peak would probably be better, and I can try to do Mount Diablo next year after I've got more hill work in. So, but in the end, Mission Peak is a very difficult climb because it's super, super steep. And the elevation is just at times, and I know it's that way on Mount Diablo as well, but the climb is longer, but it's spread out over, a much greater distance. So like I said, I started doing a lot of hill work. And so the week before, I pretty much rode my bike every day. I think 6 out of the 7 days I rode my bike. And so I would go out every day for about 25 minutes, and I do a quick 300-foot climb, 330 climb, and then come back around. I would have done more, but I was limited because I was trying to wrap up, tax season and all that. And the day before my actual ride, which was Friday, I didn't do any riding at all. So I kind of just stayed home and I chilled. And the other thing I did was I utilized, I use software. I'm not promoting it. I'm not, they don't sponsor me in any kind of way, but I use a ride software called Ride GPS. I pay about $50 a month for a year for the app. And what it does is it tracks all of your ride data, which is incredible. And it allows you to also plan in advance routes that you may want to go on. So if you see something you like, you want to know how to get there, you can press where you start and press, where you want to go, and then it'll go ahead and automatically map, and then it'll tell you what the elevations are, and it'll tell you what the descents are, and it'll track all the relevant data for your rides as you're doing those. And then it also creates a website which allows you guys to be able to see how you're tracking for the year, that type of stuff. So I use that to route my route. And then getting into close to the ride, so the night before, what I wanted to do, I wanted to make sure that I had enough fuel in my body. So what I've been doing is I've been doing intermittent fasting. So I've been trying to get my weight down. I typically only eat between the window of 4 and 9 o'clock. I compress that down to a window of 6 and 9 o'clock at night. So I go pretty much, 24 hours a day. I go 21 hours without eating any food at all, drink water or lemon water, or whatever. But I won't eat or consume any fuel. So in the end, during that window of eating, I pretty much am basically eating one meal a day, and I don't restrict myself. I don't say I'm going to only eat, low carb or keto or whatever. I eat whatever I want to eat during that window. And I have a tendency just to eat better food that's healthy that I buy from Whole Foods or Trader Joe's, because I need to be able to at least fuel my body to keep going for the 21 hours. And it works out fine. I don't have any problems at all. It's taken me a lot to build up to it, but that's kind of where I am right now. So the night before, during that small window I had, I loaded up on carbs and protein. So I ended up eating a bunch of chips and salsa. I had some salsa that was about ready to go bad, so I went ahead and bought some chips and ate those. And I also ate steel cut oatmeal. I ate a bunch of it. So, and I used the steel cut oatmeal, put a bunch of raisins inside of that. I ate chicken sausage with feta cheese, and then I ended up eating about half a watermelon also as well. And so the watermelon is to be able to get the electrolytes and get my body hydrated ahead of time. And then I also drank a lot of lemon water during that day. And then really the 4 days preceding the ride, including Friday, I had bought 2 large watermelons, organic from Whole Foods. Those jokers are like $11 each. The price you got to pay to try to stay away from stuff that's not good for your body. But it's either you pay now or you pay a lot later with your life and sickness. So it's better to go ahead and just drop the money now and go ahead and get the better food. So each one of the 4 days leading up, I ate half of a watermelon for dinner along with the other stuff that I ate. And I'll tell you, my body was just tripping the next morning. I had so much gumption I had to push out. I thought I was sick, but my body was just cleaning out everything that was there. So I was ready to go. So that's what happened there. And then the other thing I did is I went to Sportsman Warehouse and I bought bear mace because I was going to be going up Mill Creek Road early in the morning. And I was a little concerned that I might run into something, mountain lion or coyote or whatever it might be. So I wanted to just be prepared in case that happened. And then I also brought a large hiking backpack with me. And in that backpack, I had supplies and tools. And my original goal was, and I had plenty of water. I had a hydro bladder, plus I had other water that was on my bike. My original goal was to make sure that I was able to do this whole entire process without eating anything at all, and then get back home and eat dinner later on that evening. But just in case my body started to trip, I brought a whole bottle of jar of peanut butter and a spoon with me, because it's probably one of the most calorie dense things that you can get in your body and get it going to get it refueled. So I went ahead and brought that. Didn't end up using it, but I went ahead and did that. And like I said, I brought plenty of water. And so my overall plan to try to get up to the summit of Mission Peak was fairly straightforward. Like I said, Mission Peak is probably the most difficult peak to climb in the Bay Area because it's so steep. So you go up about 2,300 feet in about less than 3 miles. So it's about 760 or 70 so feet of climb every hour. And if you try to climb, something like Mount Diablo, it's only like 368 feet of climb per mile. I should say it's per mile, not per hour. So it's about, and you're looking at like 12 or 13 miles round trip for Mount Diablo, when it's all said and done, And so when it comes to trying to get up this peak, you really have only 2 options, to try to get up it. So there's the main climb, which is the shortest, that leaves out of Mission, the Mission homes over there. There's an entrance to it. And if you go up that, it's just like super steep. It's fast, but it's definitely painful. Other people will choose to opt for the Ohlone side, which is off a little bit, and it's a little bit longer, maybe an extra mile and a half or so, but that drops the elevation ascent. It's still steep, but it makes it a little bit easier. And when I climbed Mission Peak by foot 2 years ago, a little bit over 2 years ago, that's the route that I took, and it was still brutal. And so a lot of people will start out at the Ohlone side and do that route, and then they'll go ahead and take off and go. There's a point where the two meet together, the Ohlone and the Mission, and then they ascend up to the final point of the peak itself. So that's what I kind of tried to avoid there. And so, and one other thing real quick before I continue on, if you were looking at, even though it's so difficult, I've even heard if you want to climb Half Dome in Yosemite, if you can do the Mission ascent twice within 6 or 7 hours, you go up once, you come back down, you feel, and then you go back up again, come back down. If you can do that within 6 hours or so, you are ready to go ahead and do the Half Dome and get to the top and do the ropes and all that whole thing, the cables. So it's definitely a great training and proving ground, and a lot of people will go there to try to get their hike, strength up. And so part of this process is looking at that those two routes are very, very hard to climb. So I did a hack. I used to climb Mill Creek Road before, and it's about 5 miles back up. So if you're between 680, where McDonald's is, and Ohlone College is another road that goes back. There's a lot of homes that are back there, quite a few. It's very country. It's very secluded. There's a lot of trees, a lot of canopy. It's beautiful. It's amazing. And so I opted to take that route because at some point after climbing for about about 2.5 miles or so, you're about 1,200 feet up. And there's a point where the Mill Creek Road goes right up against the Ohlone Trail. You can kind of continue on from there. So that's what my goal was, to go up Mill Creek Road and meet the Ohlone Trail, which is on the backside, and then continue on until the two trails converge, and then continue on up to the summit. So that's what I basically did on my bike. My goal was to leave the house at 6:30 a.m., which is what I did. And I would arrive roughly about 7:15, and then I would start climbing around 7:45. I figured once I got there, I had to go through and do some double checks to get myself ready and get fully dressed. I mean, I was ready as much as possible, but there's stuff that you have to do, take your bike down and get everything all ready. So I wanted to be climbing roughly about 7:45, and I knew that the sunrise was about 7:21 or so. So it worked out to be a great time to start. And I figured at the time it was probably going to take me about 2 hours, maybe 2.5 hours to get up, 3 or so. But that's kind of what my original ballpark was in my mind. And then once I would start after 7:45, I would get to the point where I would join the Ohlone Trail, and I would jump the fence and then hop on and continue on. And then I would continue climbing to the summit. Flatlands, that was what I call it. So as you reach Mission Peak, about 200, 300 feet underneath the spire or the peak is a flat area. And there's stuff that's there that says you cannot ride a bike up the peak side. So you have to park your bike. There's actually a bike rack that is there. So my goal was to continue on to the flatlands and then hike the last, 200 or 300 feet to get to the top. So that's what my goal was. And then, like I said, walk the rest of the way up to the top. And then once I got to the top, I wanted to make it up to the top. I wanted to take my pictures and sit out for a few minutes. I wanted to also, I had already done a post that I had stored, and then I wanted to take some pictures and post immediately, and then chill for a minute, and then turn around and ride back down. And when I got to the top, I did not want to eat if I could avoid it, and then I wanted to stay in my intermittent fast zone until I got home that evening at 6 p.m. and I would eat then like I normally would. And so, and I also wanted to do it without, and like I said, in the end, part of this whole plan was to do this 100% push and pedal, no e-bike, no gimmicks, no games, no nothing, just me, the bike, and my two legs, pushing and pedaling and trying to get to the top. So that's what my plan was overall, and that's how everything basically went down. And so then you might ask yourself, why would somebody go do this? I'm 55 years old. I mean, I consider myself to be retired. Many people are retired at this age. They're chilling, but why in the world would I want to go do something like this? I want to do it for the challenge of it. One of the places that I find my happiness is on my bicycle. That's one of I have a list of items where I find happiness, and one of them is my bicycle. I love climbing, and I love getting to the top, and I love chilling for a minute, taking a drink of water, and then turning around and cruising all the way back down, getting into my tuck position and riding and racing cars on the way down. It's to me, it's fun. It's super adventurous, and it's epic. And I don't try to do other stuff. I don't try to go ski. I don't try to go surf. I don't try to do anything else that people do that's adventurous, because I've been riding bikes so long that I have it etched in my DNA that I know when my bike is not performing right. I can hear by the sounds. I can feel by the way it might wobble. And I don't have that understanding of other types of sports. So it's easy for me to get injured and hurt if I try to do something that I'm not familiar with, especially at this age. So I stick with what I know. And this is where my mind my muscle memory is. This is where my training is. So this is something I definitely really enjoy doing. And of course, when you get to the top, you can see epic views all over the Bay Area. And if you're ever lucky enough to climb Mission Peak when you're up above the clouds, or the clouds are right up at the top of your head, it's just incredible to be able to see that. So that's one of the reasons why I want to do this. I want to also do it just for pure physical fitness. As you get older, I've got clients now, and I know people that are in their 80s. And the folks that don't exercise, don't have a lifestyle of exercising and staying active, they are paying the price in physical ailments. My clients that are super active, or the people I know that are super active, that exercise regularly, go out and walk, they're not sitting at home on the couch, whatever, they are living a very, very vibrant life with minimal issues, physically, watching. So I want to be able to live a long time, and I realize that I have to do these things in order to make my body continue to last. And I want to try to continue to lose weight. Since I have a goal, about 5 weeks or so, I'm going to go zip lining. So I'm very close to the weight limit of what the upper ceiling is. And so I want to get my weight down to that so I can go ahead and go zip lining. But since last year, December, it was the end of the year. I think it was December 28th, 29th, when I made it back home from enjoying the holidays and all that. I stepped on a scale. And so since then, I've lost 40 pounds. So, and my goal is to get myself down and then maintain myself in that limit, and so that's one of the reasons why I wanted to do it as well. I wanted to exercise. I wanted to push myself. I wanted to get myself into the zone. I wanted to shock my body while I was fasting to make sure it was consuming, the fat stores that I have. And, there's no better way to do it than to push myself through some type of super serious endurance situation, like I did here for about 5 hours or so. And then in the end, let's go ahead and wrap up this before we jump into the videos and stuff. But what did I experience doing this? And what is my feedback I have for you guys? So I'll tell you what, this was something that was extremely difficult, but it was not impossible. So at times, I have no problem riding on my bike inclines that are 10% easily, so I've gotten myself conditioned. I can easily ride up until about 11, 12, maybe 13% inclined. I'm going slow. I'm on, the most liberal gear that I can have, where I'm pedaling very, very slow, but I can still keep it going as long as I can see at some point it's going to stop. On Mission Peak, there are parts where it's like 20% grade, 15% grade, 18% grade, sustained. And, those spots where I couldn't pedal, I got my behind off my bike and I walked. So I pushed my bike up the hill many, many times, and some sections were so impossible to try to climb that that's what I did. So, I did not give up. I expected this in advance, and I already had a plan. And so, like I said, it wasn't impossible for me to do because I had a backup plan. If it got to the point where I couldn't ride, I'd hop off and I'd walk. I wasn't going to stop. I was going to keep on going. And like I said, it took me 5 hours or so to complete the whole entire trip. I think it was 12 miles is what I rode, 2,400 feet total climb elevation. And the total time that my ride computer said that I was moving was 2 hours and 15 minutes, but I don't think it recorded the times where I was walking like a mile and a half an hour because it was so steep. So that was the ride times that it recorded where there was at least significant movement of about 2 hours and 15 minutes. And then the other thing that I experienced, I only saw one other person on a bicycle. And I hadn't done it in such a long time. I thought, wow, maybe they outlawed folks riding their bikes on Mission Peak. And I remember they had some type of disclaimer before where you couldn't ride an e-bike, but I know that they've kind of relaxed that rule. But I didn't see anybody until I got up to almost the summit area. I saw one other guy on his bike, and I think he had an e-bike that he was riding. Looked like a specialized e-bike. I'm not 100% sure. Don't quote me, but like I said, I was one of the only people that I saw on a bike besides that one guy. And then the other thing too, last time I climbed the peak 2 years ago, it was in September after Labor Day, so it wasn't a Labor Day weekend, it was like the following weekend afterwards, it was almost like they were dropping off bus loads and bus loads and bus loads of people. There were so many folks that were walking up, because as I was struggling to get up the hill, there's some people that passed me, they made it to the top, and then they came back down and gave me a high five on the way down because I was still trying to make it to the top, but like I said, this time there was people, but I'd say probably 10% of what I saw last time that I was there. And you'll be able to see that here in the videos for sure. So let me go ahead and stop talking. I give you guys enough context here on my ride, and I think we're about 25 minutes into this now. So we got another 30 minutes of videos. Feel free to jump around if you need to, but I also give commentary throughout the video. I talk about myself climbing. I talk about my life. I also talk about owning a home, and some of the dreams I had when I was back at Ohlone College, going to college, of maybe one day owning a home. And kind of where I am right now as a seasoned 55-year-old adult living here on planet Earth. But I'd say it's worth listening to everything, because I talk all the way through the videos. So I'll be back here, guys, in a second, and I will be eager to see you when you come back. All right, guys, I'll see you in a few minutes. All right, guys, this is going to be an epic journey here. I am in the car. It's 6:45. I just checked Waze. I got about 45 minutes to be able to get to Mill Creek Road. I'm going to be ascending the backside of the moon, I like to call it, but I'm going up Mission Peak. So stay tuned. I'll check back in with you guys once I arrive there. But sunrise is at 7:21, so that's about a good time for me to start to get going up the hill. So I'll be right back in a second. All right, guys, there you go. There is Mission Peak off there in the distance in all its glory. I will be scaling it. I will be trying to summit it, using all these mountain climbing terms. But I'm on my way up there. I'll be there soon. I'll check back with you guys. Okay, guys, there we go. There is the ominous Mission Peak right there in front of me. It's about 7:20. Sunrise is about 7:21. So it's about another minute or so. But you can see the beauty of the mountain off there in the distance above the technology sign. So I will be using no technology today. How ironic, to be able to get to the top. I'm going to be using push and pedal patented technology, which is essentially just one foot after another, after another, after another. So I'll be up there hopefully in about 2 hours or so on my bike. So we'll see what happens here. But I want to at least show you guys the approach of the ominous Mission Peak off there in the distance in the early AM sunrise here. Saturday definitely looks epic, and I'm gonna be there pretty soon. I'm probably about 10 minutes out from my parking spot. All right, guys, we are here. We are ready to go. I am up here at Mill Creek Road. You can see it right there. And it goes back up to that area. It kind of goes through the canyon. I think it's about 4 or 5 miles long, but I'm gonna get to about the 2.5 mile point. Then I'll jump over and get onto the trail for the peak. But I got my bike ready to go. I'm out here about ready to make it happen. So I'll probably check in with you guys. I'm probably when I get to a couple different waypoints along the way, but the majority of this ride is just gonna be showing you guys epic downhill. So I got my bike, it's ready to go. And one thing I went ahead and I bought is I have bear spray. So you never know, you might encounter critters. So, my brother's definitely ready to go. So I'll be back in a little bit. All right, here we go. I just made it about 1,150 feet up. So that direction right there continues on Mill Creek Road. That's the way to go down. And this is where it kind of meets up with the Ohlone College Trail. You can see there's a lot of people out here right now walking. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drop my bike over the fence and continue up on the other side. Okay, guys. All right, guys, so I'm about 1,800 feet up. You can see the elevation gain, and I got about another 800 feet to go to get up to the peak. So if I remember correctly, I can't ride all the way up there. I'll get within about 200 feet or so, 300 feet. I gotta park my bike and I gotta hike the rest of the way. So brother's getting his behind whooped, but I got this. I'll check back in a minute. All right, here we go. I've made it up about 2,200 feet or so. You can see all the stuff. That's the, I think that's the Calaveras Reservoir over there, some other stuff, some quarries over here. Man, a hell of a climb. And then there's looking out into the Bay Area, the Dumbarton Bridge, San Mateo Bridge, and all that. So I've got a last little bit of 200 feet up here to go, and then I'll be at the top. But I'll tell you what, my brother's whooped, but I'm not giving up. So I'll be back in a minute. All right, here we go. We are almost at the summit, just a few feet away. You can see the Mission Peak pole up there. Everybody is posing. So my brother made it. Man, I'm gonna chill out for a minute, catch my breath, take a picture, and then go on down. But there it is right there, the Mission Peak pole. Let me turn the camera around this way. Man, about 2,500 feet up. I made it. So, and I did this without fueling. I just fueled last night. I ate a lot of stuff. But I'll be back in a minute, guys. All right, guys, that's it. I made it to the top and hung out here for a while. And I'm gonna go ahead and work my way back down. So I'll tell you, this is, last time I came up here to Mission Peak, there was a buttload of bicycle riders, there was a buttload of people, and there's hardly anybody up here, which I'm surprised. The weather is pretty nice, pretty decent and all that, you know, but you can look down that way and see Fremont, you know, out into the valley, Contra Costa side. You're gonna look down into the Silicon Valley area down here. Those white areas, that's salt. So those are ponds that have probably been sitting there for a couple of years, evaporating the salt and all that. And so yeah, I had a great time getting up here. My goal, ultimately, is if you look back over that way, you're gonna see a peak. That's where me and Bube went. We were up on top of Mount Diablo, so I would love to ride my bike up there. But we will see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and start back down. So I'm gonna, once I get down to my bike, I'm gonna turn on my GoPro 360 and record the descent down there. It's gonna be kind of treacherous in some spots, so but at least you get an idea of what it's like to come down off the mountain. So I'll be right back in a second. All right, guys, here we go. We are headed down. It's gonna be a little bumpy, a little treacherous. I'm not gonna get going that fast. Some parts I may get off and walk, but we'll see how it goes. I got my drop post down for now, so we'll see how this goes. taking it easy right here. I'll cross over this way. A little cleaner path. All right, I think I might just walk this spot. It's a little treacherous. I'm just using caution. My energy is low right now. I didn't fuel at the top or anything because I'm on a fast right now. And I'm pairing that with intense exercise. So that's what we got going on right now. And the reason why I'm walking, typically when I climb, I'm on paved roads. So I don't have the aptitude to ride something this technical on the descent. So I'm just erring on the side of caution here and just walking down. I know I had to walk up it. There was another guy that was on the bike earlier. He was like, if you stay out the middle, you'll be able to conquer this. But I was like, dude, I don't have the intestinal fortitude at this moment and the strength to be able to do that. So I'm gonna hop on here in a second and ride the rest of the way. Here we go. Okay, here we go. Go ahead and hop on here. All right, I'm gonna keep it slow though. Oh yeah, this is the best part. All right, let's go ahead and cut this way. All right, just gonna watch out for folks. All right, take a look at that view down there. And I'm like way back on my seat. Just a few balance. Too. But look at that view. I'm gonna go down the side over here. Hopefully it'll be all right. I think it's the way I came up. I'm going to cross the trail here so I can continue to descend on the other side. All right, here we go. You can see down there how epic it looks. We're down to about 2,000 feet now, about 1945. So I'm just gonna keep my speed down here. And there's a couple different ways that you can ride up Mission Peak. There's the Ohlone way, which is a little less steep, and it's a lot longer, or you can go the Mission entrance, and it's a lot steeper to go this route to try to come up, but it's less distance. So, and up on top where the symbolic symbol is of Mission Peak, legend has it that, and so like I said, I'm surprised there's not a lot of people here today, but there are typically tons and tons and tons of folks. So urban legend has it that one of the folks that lived down at the bottom, they were really mad and upset about all the people parking in front of their house, so they hiked up here and they cut down the spire. So and through investigation they were able to find it, and then they reattached it back up on top. So, but yeah, this is pretty. Some of these parts here are definitely steep. So I'm keeping my speed down right now. We're down about 1,700 feet. I'm probably not going any more than 10 or 11 miles an hour. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit this turn here. You can see right there, it's beautiful. Absolutely amazing. And that's what's wonderful about getting out in the outdoors, because there's so much stuff to do that's free. This didn't cost me anything to do this epic adventure. I had to, normally I have to buy a bunch of lemons, and I cut them up and juice them and put them into my water bag. That way I have vitamin C, electrolytes, that type of stuff I'm able to get. And I even got those free off the tree in the backyard. So the only thing that's cost me was just a little bit of gas just to get over here. And so I see areas over across the way in Redwood City that I've ridden, and Coyote Hills down there in the distance. I've ridden that many, many times. So I don't do a lot of off-road trail riding. I typically stay on paved surfaces. And so now we're down to about 1,700 feet. Like I said, the descent is epic. And I'm not trying to do anything crazy here at all. I just want to get home safely. So, only way to do that, just keep the speed down. Because you get going really, really fast, unless you're really an expert in sliding, you're going to end up sliding because you won't have any grip. And I noticed, just looking earlier, my tires in the back are worn down a lot more than the tires on the front. So I'm gonna have to rotate them. And the other thing, I'll just pick up a little bit of speed here. The other thing is my shock on my bike is about to be blown. It doesn't hold pressure anymore. So here we go. I think this is the afternoon crowd that's starting to work their way up. But as you can see, guys, there's not a lot of people. I'm really surprised. So we're down now to about 15:45. And let me go ahead and cross here. And this total galavant, it's been 4 hours. And I just heard the navigation. I've got it going in my ear right now. And I've already gone, this makes 7 miles. So I think the total trip altogether, because I was planning on riding up Ohlone College and then riding through Mission over here. That makes it 12 miles, so I still have 5 miles to go. So, still on the trail, still rolling. There's Mission Peak up there in the distance. And I remember, I don't know, maybe 20 or 30 years ago, we had a whole buttload of rain in the Bay Area, and Mission Peak actually slid. And so part of the peak just lodged and started to come down the hill. That was back when we were having a lot of landslides all over the Bay Area and stuff. All right, we're down to about 1,400 feet. You can take a look ahead there. Definitely epic. So like I said, I don't know if I have the gumption in my system to be able to ride this up unassisted, the majority of it, because it's, as you can see, there's a few areas where things kind of flatten out a little bit, but there's a lot of elevation here. And so by me going Mill Creek Road, the nice thing about that is it took me about 3 miles or so to get up about 1,200 feet. And so that's about half the distance that I had to come. So but you can see off there in the distance, I mean, people are leaning into their stride. So you really got to be at peak performance to try to ride this hill. And even on my end, I probably only rode about 60% of it. That includes the part at the top that you can't take your bike up on, you know, so it's like the last couple hundred feet or so. And I've been riding my brakes, trying to keep my speed down. All right, we're still doing good. You can see the diversity of the plant life over here. So we're down to about 1,200 feet now. And I'm really feeling it. It's almost like I got a hardtail right now. Like I said, my shock in the back is blown. I mean, I can still ride on it, but I'm not getting the rebound out of it. So I think I've had this bike for a couple years, maybe 3. So it's time for me to get the shock repaired and rebuilt. There's a bike shop not too far from me. I'm gonna stop by and see if they can rebuild shocks. If not, there's a spot I can send it to. I think it's up in Washington or something. I had another shock that was rebuilt. It's a nice spot for a bench. And this area really means a lot to me because I went to Ohlone College over here, grew up in Fremont and all that. And yeah, it's really bumpy. But I feel confident in letting it open a little bit here. This ground is pretty much dirt, very little gravel. A little bit easier to catch some traction. And one of the things I used to do when I was in Ohlone College, because I was a returning student. I went out there and didn't go to college, and I ended up returning to college, I think when I was 25 or 26, and took school serious. I would come here all the time and to Mission, and then just ride around and look at the homes. This is back when Hammer lived out here in the homes, so it was really cool. You know, I used to dream about one day having a home up there. But, you know, my brother has had a really large house, a mini mansion. I think my last home I had was almost 4,400 square feet. It was 6 bedrooms, 5 baths, had 2 separate staircases in it. It was on about a 10,000 square foot lot out in Brentwood, you know, so. And do I miss it? No. The majority of the house didn't get used. There was only just a few rooms. Most of the other rooms were just decoration or storage kind of stuff. But and then, so do I miss having a home? No, not at all. I like the flexibility and freedom because I am very nomadic, and I'm also, here, hang on a second, let me focus here real quick. I'm very nomadic, and I'm a minimalist, so I don't have a lot of stuff. All right, so we're down to about 742 feet right now. How you doing? So we're getting down here to the bottom, and I don't need much. I really don't. So, and then I really consider my home is wherever I have my laptop, so, or my computer, you know. So things are a lot different now at age 55 than they were before. I would rather just be liquid, you know, not have anything tied towards anything that's going to hold me in one spot, and then just not have any investments in owning a home. Because I'll tell you, owning a home is not an investment at all. It's a money pit. And so most investments, you can buy them, let them sit and forget it. That's not how a house works. You got maintenance, you got HOA dues, you got insurance that creeps up every year, you got property taxes. I think I was at one point paying like $14,000 a month or year in property taxes. incredible, like over $1,000 a month just to pay property taxes, you know. And so the place I live now, it's a $3 million home, and I rent a room. And so the room has its everything I need. It's got its, I have my own private bathroom also, and I have access to the whole entire house. So we've got a gourmet kitchen, Viking, Bosch appliances, all high-end stuff. Got an outside backyard area, fruit trees, all that, and it's cool. So like I said, I don't need a whole lot, and as long as I'm able to travel at this point, I'm able to work. I'm able to work anywhere in the world as long as I have internet connection. My brother is, what's up?
Good job.
Yep. My brother is just as happy as can be. So don't need much, don't require much. Just my laptop. I'm good to go. All right, so we're down to about 454 feet. And this is the bottom section of the mission entrance. So, my total time I've actually ridden is about 1 hour and 41 minutes total, but this galavant has been about 4.5 hours of time. So, getting down to the last little bit here. The thing you got to do is always look ahead for folks. So, all right, I think this is it, guys. This is the end of the peak ride. So, let me see if I can get out of here. What's up? Oh yeah. Yeah, I think just push through. Yeah, just go. Come on in. Yeah. All right, appreciate it, bro. Have a good hike. All right, guys, that's it right there. I made it. So I'm gonna ride the rest of the way here. I think my camera is still recording. All right, guys, welcome back. I hope you guys enjoyed that video. It was epic to try to produce. It was epic to try to create. It was epic to try to execute it, and I will definitely do it again for sure. I'll tell you, it was enjoyable, it was fun, it was difficult, it was hard, it was taxing, but I'll tell you what, at no point did I ever give up, and I always had a plan B. My plan A was to pedal and ride it to the top, and if my plan A fell through, I fall back to plan B and I get my behind off my bike and I would just walk. And when it got to the point where I can ride again, I'd hop back on my bike and I'd ride. And then when it got to the point where I couldn't ride anymore, I'd hop off. But I would always be able to see in the distance the peak and where I was going. I had intelligent technology that was telling me blow by blow how fast I was going and what elevation I was. And I can say I'm at the halfway point. Wow, I'm 2/3 of the way to the top. Oh, wow, I only have 300 feet left to go. So it was definitely motivating to be able to do this whole thing. I hope you guys got a lot of value out of watching this. And so, like I said, disclaimer, do not attempt to do this at all. Ever. Don't even think about it. Leave this to the professionals. You know, like I said, this is something that's extremely dangerous. One wrong move, you can fall off the peak. One wrong move, you can tumble off your bike and slide down a hill and get bit by a rattlesnake. So many things can go wrong here. Don't try them at all, guys. And if you ever do decide to try them, talk to a doctor and go see somebody that can fill you in on everything you need to do. And no, don't even do that. Don't do this. 100% full disclosure and disclaimer. Don't try it at home, guys. Like I said, I really enjoy doing this. So I'll go ahead and wrap everything up. And I'll tell you, like I said, I think the best part of this whole thing before I go into the final segment here was I got about 25 minutes of downward descent of over 2,400 feet. So that was really cool, really epic. I kept my speed down. It was nice to see all the people that I was passing. And I can tell folks were like, wow, and some people even said it. I can't believe you rode your bike up, kudos to you. But I could tell that a lot of people would have loved to ridden their bike, down the hill, so. But hats off to anybody that ever attempts to climb Mission Peak. You are a hero, and do what you got to do to make it happen, to be able to stay alive, to stay healthy, and, hike. That's all you got to do. Hike, walk, get out, all that type of stuff. So we're good. So I'll go ahead and wrap everything up here. And got two last things to talk about. So when it comes to Mission Peak and climbing on your bicycle, what are some business ideas that you can start related to this? And there's a couple obvious ones here. Why not start an adventure travel tour operation company? There's a lot of people that would love to go places and tour and climb and hike. They don't know how to do it at all. If you've done this, you've got all the experience. You can lead expeditions up to a summit of something small and get people back home and have them feel safe, where they know that they don't have to worry about getting lost or, ending up someplace where they're not supposed to be. They're being taken care of by a seasoned individual. This seasoned individual can be you, and you can charge a fee for that experience. I also don't see why you can't start a mobile bike repair company if this is something that you know how to do. Set up at a trailhead someplace, go to people's houses and repair their bikes and get them all set up. Whenever they have a really large event, you can always be there with your bike repair vehicle, van, whatever it might be, and helping people get flats and, chains fixed and all that type of stuff. So if you have those kind of skills, there's no reason why you can't do that. And finally, why not be an online bike seller? And even simpler, why not be a bicycle part seller? Tire slime, repair tools, horns, bells, seats, seat post, pedals. You can start out small, attachments that go onto the bike, and then you can build yourself up from there over time. So those are some incredible business ideas that are tied towards riding Mission Peak, and things that if you have the experience, you can wake up today and start that business today. And finally, on the way out here, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about some of the deductions that you would be eligible for if you decide to do any of these businesses. Of course, home office, cell phone, laptop, home internet, mileage that you're gonna incur getting back and forth to the sites where you meet your clients, continue professional education in order to stay versed in your craft, travel meals if you decide to meet clients and pay for the meals or travel overnight as it relates to these businesses. Those meals you can probably deduct as well. Automobile, your adventure equipment that's related to your businesses here, bicycle equipment, of course, and tools. And there's many, many other things. Like I said, feel free to reach out to me and set up a consultation. We can talk about things that you can do to get your business going, and things that you may be eligible for in your type of business that may be considered ordinary, necessary, that you can deduct, and we can get you set up. So like I said, always reach out to me. I'm always available. And for everybody else that hasn't done so, please subscribe to this video, especially if you see it on YouTube. And everybody else, please also like it, whether you see it on Instagram or Facebook or on, on YouTube. So please go ahead and like that. And if you guys have ever climbed Mission Peak before, let me know in the comments. If you guys have ridden up on your bicycle, if you guys have actually hiked it, let me know the way you guys went about trying to get this epic accomplishment done. And I think that's about it for me. I don't have anything else to talk about. I gotta get it. Seems like every time the last video I did, I I record these videos just before I leave to go out of town to go see my girl. She's back east. I got a 5-hour flight, and it gives me something to do on the plane. I try to do a lot of my marketing and stuff like that. So I'm shooting the bumpers here for my video, and I've got all the footage. I'm gonna put it all together while I'm on the plane, and hopefully when I get back over there, I'll be able to get it up and loaded and onto the cloud, by Saturday or Sunday. But we'll see how that goes. But like I said, I look forward to you guys liking this video and seeing the video and giving me your comments and your feedback. If there's anything I can ever do for you, reach out for me. And if it's anything related to business, always book a consultation. I don't think anybody on this earth gives out information or advice that's specifically tailored to benefit you for free. So hit the link up, andrereese.biz, reach out to me, and we'll go ahead and get this taken care of. And that's it, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and sign out. Oh, that's right. That's what I was trying to do. I didn't even get my water. I need to think about this. Did I forget anything? No. All right, guys. Take care. Be safe. I will see you guys on the other side. Peace out. See ya. Hey guys, thanks for sticking with me all the way to the end of this video. Visit me directly at andrereese.biz. 4 things to do: like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell. Stay safe, guys. Lift the glass to freedom. Stay woke and don't get TikTok. Take care. I will see you guys in the next video.